And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. I think you should go there. Welcome back in. Jesus. Welcome back in. I am currently recording my third podcast in about 40, no, excuse me. What? In 2 hours. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Who cares? I should have done all these things yesterday. Anyway, here we are, back at it again, talking about things that are happening in the world. What was I going to do this week, or what did I do this week? That's usually how this show happens. It works. As you can see, I'm not recording in the dead of night anymore right now. It's midday. I have to take Maverick out for a walk in about 30 minutes. Unfortunately, I spent too much time at the gym this morning, and I got back at 8. So he was holding it. He was holding his bowels, for more than 8 hours. I try to get back from the gym around 7. In the past couple of months, it's been around 7:30 or 8 because I just have the time to work out. I love it. It's all right. We're fine. He's good. I mentioned this on LinkedIn logs that I recorded about 48 minutes ago. But I Googled, when do pit bulls calm down? Because every single morning I open up that crate, he comes out with all of his weight and just runs. He runs like crazy and he barks as if he's never seen the light of day before. I'm like, dude, chill out. Oh my gosh. And then Nova's mad because she's like, I'm hungry. Where were you? Where were you, mother? Because remember, cats see you as their moms, and they see you as cats. Dogs see you. They know that you're not dogs. Even the cats are smarter, and they see you as cats. That's crazy. I had to, again, do some Googling of that. What else is going on? Well, this is uninteresting to anybody, but in an effort to not look at news, on Monday, I started futzing around with NVIDIA GeForce Now, which is a game streaming platform hosted by NVIDIA, the chip people, I guess. I don't know. And I like it. I messed around with it before because I already had an account with them, and I enjoy it, and it's wonderful. I have to enter my security code as I go to my Authenticator of choice to dig in on these numbers. But I like it, and it's a subscription service, and what you do is I don't know why I went to the website. I could have just opened up the app on the computer. I just realized I had it on the computer. But what you do is you connect all of your PC accounts, all your gaming PC accounts, your Steams, your Epic Game Stores, your Blizzards, all that stuff. You connect it to that, and then here it is popped up. And then you can, I wonder if I can share this on the screen. Let's see. Share NVIDIA GeForce Now. There you go. So you can, that's pretty cool. Look at that. All right. If you're watching the video version of this show, and I don't know why you wouldn't, you can see my name on screen. I will not be friends with you. But there's NVIDIA GeForce Now, and you can play all these games. If you have a library connected to it, like your Steam, then you get all of your games that you own available to play on there. And then you can also buy games, from whatever store you want to do. Also, Xbox Game Pass is on there. So if you have Xbox Game Pass, which is Xbox's gaming subscription service, then you can play all the games available on that. So I did not know that. I had no idea that that was something that could happen. So I started messing around with it, and now I can play, you know, all games from Xbox Game Pass on my Mac. It's crazy, and my iPad, and most importantly, my Steam Deck, which I've been trying to get Game Pass games on there without having to. If you again, Steam Deck is owned by Valve. It's Linux based operating system, and there's no native Xbox or Microsoft apps on there, so you have to do a lot of side loading. And while it's easy, it's still something you have to manage. Go back to the desktop, update those apps, blah blah blah. It's too much computer for me. I'm so lazy. I just want to get a Windows handheld like the Lenovo Legion Go, and just I know Windows is not and Windows is not a good touchscreen thing. It's not built for handheld devices. But I would rather have that happen than have to deal with everything. But anyway, yes, now I can play. I own. I was about to say a game that is I own multiple times over. I can play Marvel Midnight Suns, a game I own on my Steam account. I can play instead of downloading it to my Mac or even seeing if it's compatible with the Mac. I can just play it over the internet on my Mac, or I can play it on my iPad, or I can play it on my phone, which is very, very cool, or the Steam Deck. Here's a better example. I don't own No Man's Sky on Xbox. I own it on PlayStation. If I wanted to play No Man's Sky on Xbox, I would have to go to Game Pass and download it, or I could go to NVIDIA's GeForce Now and play it over the cloud without downloading it. The thing is, again, subscription, there's a free tier. You can only get an hour, and you have to wait for a computer to open up. So there's like computer servers, rigs they call them, and wherever their home base is. And and you're basically assigned a computer behind, the time of day you're playing, behind 10, 20, 100, a couple hundred people. And you only get an hour. There's other tiers, but they sold out of the middle tiers, and the most expensive tier is available, but I'm not paying $20. I just need to play for a little bit. That's it. So GeForce Now, that's my new thing. What else is going on? I wanted to go see One of Them Days, starring SZA and Keke Palmer. I was unable to because it was supposed to snow. And quite frankly, I did not want to get stuck in traffic. It was supposed to snow on Tuesday afternoon at like 2 p.m. And the movie was going to start at 1. And I could have ridden my bike, but I didn't want to come out, at 2:30 or whatever the movie would end, and then just like have it covered in snow, and also have to bike home and be cold and freezing. And also, my bike is a road bike. I don't want to test things out. All right, is that enough bantering for a little bit? All right, cool. Let's get on. We'll talk about the Oscars in a second, but Netflix reported its Q4 earnings for last year. Unfortunately, something that I knew was going to happen, all the plans are going up in price. The highest tier plan is going to be $25, and I believe the lowest tier ad-free plan is $10. I don't know, something like that, or $12, something like that. And then the ad tier might be $10 or $9, one of those. Anyway, this comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Other things that they mentioned during their quarterly results include they're going to have a restaurant in Las Vegas next month as live experiences business expands. This comes from Alex Weprin at the Hollywood Reporter. They're going to have Stranger Things chicken and waffles, Bridgerton tea service, and it's going to be all available starting at the MGM Grand on February 20th. It's going to be a real restaurant / experience. The new Netflix Bites is described as, quote, a residency. So it's not going to be like the LA pop-ups that you've heard about. I believe there was a, oh my God, what is the LA pop-up with the Eddie Murphy movie, Coming to America? What was that? The oh god, what McDowell's? That's what it was called. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember hearing about that. There's also a not Back to the Future. Saved by the Bell pop up. Pop ups are popular. They're very cool. In Atlanta, they're not Atlanta. In Buckhead, there was a pop up with the Nickelodeon slime pop up in a place that is so. I'm not look, and that's the reason why I corrected myself from Atlanta and Buckhead is because it's like Beverly Hills and regular Los Angeles. It's two different things. One's for rich annoying people, and the other one's just for regular annoying people. Um, but the pop up is in an area of Buckhead that is so annoying. All of Buckhead's annoying, but it was so detrimental to my health to get to. At the time, I was working at Bounce TV, and I drove by it constantly. 5 o'clock traffic, I could never do it again. 8 o'clock in the morning traffic, I could never do it again. That's one good thing about the pandemic was that it hit when I was working there, and since I was one of 5 people going to work. I was in and out, baby. The menu is going to include, I already mentioned Stranger Things and Bridgerton. Other shows include, oh God, Money Heist, One Piece, Love is Blind, Nailed It, The Floor is Lava. Okay. Okay. You can look at the menu yourself. It's fine. MasterCard holders will get priority seating and reservations. Jesus. Okay. That's stupid. I guess they're partners. As it happens, another major entertainment company is set to open an experimental business in Las Vegas this year. NBC Universal will open a year-round version of its Halloween Horror Nights in the city. Well, with haunted houses based on the films Exorcist Believer, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and so on. I just watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The one that just came out in 2022. It was all right. That was during my horror month, my October, when I was watching horror movies. One a day. There's also, this comes from Mariella Moon at Engadget. Netflix's push into gaming will add party and couch co-op. Squid Game Unleashed is set to become its most downloaded game yet, also. Gregory Peters, Netflix's co-chief executive officer, said that the company has made some, quote, good early progress since it launched games during a call. He has also mentioned the company's plans for future gaming on the service, including rolling out party and couch co-op games that you can stream online. The technology was being tested last year, but it was limited, and they didn't really talk about how well it turned out. But the company wants to keep investing in it and expanding its reach. It'll be very fun. You know, people want to play games together, and online is typically the way I do it. Couch co-op is great because you can have games like Jackbox Party Pack and all 8 or 9 iterations of it and play games together or online, and people really love that stuff. I think couch co-op is great. You know, It Takes Two is a game that people played together and it won awards because it told a great story and had great characters and great gameplay. And you could play it next to each other at home. And the same goes for A Way Out, which is a game you could play online or together. And it was about 2 guys escaping jail, I think. I don't remember. I didn't play it because it takes 2 players. And I won't have someone to play with. Every woman I've ever dated never played video games. And so I never played video games in front of them. It's very true. I don't want the New York Times games to send me notifications. Don't. So let's bring more couch co-op games. And Netflix games has been doing wonders. I'm glad that they have not done what I thought they were going to do. They could still do this. Break out Netflix games into its own subscription. I think you earn your worth with the $25 per month now that, people like me will be paying to get GTA San Andreas, the definitive version of that, and Sonic Prime Dash, and the only place to get Death's Door, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, Sonic Mania Plus, and Civ 6 all on our phones, and Dead Cells without having to pay another price for it. It sucks that it's a subscription, but whatever. All right, now let's talk about the Oscars, the nominations. We knew what movies were going to be up, and we knew what people were going to be up, but there were some surprises. We'll get into those later in a second. Hillary Lewis, Kimberly Nordyke at The Hollywood Reporter wrote down all these nominations. The Best Picture includes, and we're not going to go through everything, but movies like A Complete Unknown and Dune Part 2 and wait, what? Oh, they have to. Oh, Amelia Perez. They have to. They wrote down nominees to be determined, but they just have to. That means like which producers they're going to put out there. Wicked and The Substance. Some of these movies I'll never see. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. In 2016, I stopped watching movies and TV shows that did not feature people of color in them. So I'll never see a movie like The Substance because there's no person of color in that movie. Not a single one. It's a sci-fi movie about a woman trying to look younger, and yet you can't give one person of color a line. I look at these names, and we had the Oscars So White thing happen years ago, and it's just something that needs to be reiterated over and over again because yes, you can put Coleman Domingo up there, an actor in a leading role for Sing Sing, but he's still going up against four other white men, all the directors for. I don't know why computers sometimes free. I don't know why this is happening. I'm trying to click on someone's name and it's not allowing me to do so. It's not the website, it is the computer, and I'm getting a little pissed off about it. Who directed The Substance? Was it a man or a woman? I bet you it's going to be a woman. Yeah, it's a white woman. Okay. So it's unfortunate that a lot of these are going to be, even if they're first time nominees, like Kieran Culkin being nominated for an Oscar for the first time. It's unfortunate that a lot of these are just going to be basically the same people over and over again. For animated feature, you had Flow, which is that Swedish or European movie with no voice acting whatsoever. It's just sound about a cat or something. I don't know. Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. I enjoyed it. And The Wild Robot, which is the one I think should win. There's some animated short films, cinematography for movies like Dune Part 2 and Amelia Perez, which is a musical, which is why I guess it's up there. Costume design, you've got movies like Gladiator 2 and Wicked. I'm skipping over movies that I don't care about. Film editing for movies like Amelia Perez and Wicked. You can go look at whichever ones you want. Makeup and hairstyling. John Chu was snubbed, which is unfortunate. All right, let's go on to Hillary Lewis writes, Oscar nominations, snubs, and surprises. Challengers has been shut out. Selena Gomez and Denzel Washington are not up there. And Nosferatu overperforms. Again, Nosferatu, a movie about a vampire sucking blood from people. No people of color. I don't care where it takes place. You can't just have like a Spanish guy in the back like, this is crazy. That guy's sucking blood over there. The BAFTAs came out, and along with being snubbed Denzel Washington was also snubbed here. Challengers had many Golden Globe nominations for Zendaya and a win for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for their songs. It did not receive an Oscar nomination at all. Queer did not receive any nominations. The movie starring Daniel Craig as a gay man. He was also snubbed for the BAFTAs. Gladiator 2 only got that one nomination for the costumes. That's interesting. Wow. Maria received one nomination in the movie starring Angelina Jolie as that opera singer, and it was for cinematography. I believe Pamela Anderson was snubbed as well for The Last Showgirl. Ah, she was. Yes, that was correct. Oh, look at me. That was correct. Oh boy. Dune did well. Dune Part 2 did not. It only managed to get adapted screenplay, costume design, makeup, and hairstyling and editing. But it got that coveted Best Picture nom. Now this comes from, the next part comes from the New York Times, written by Kyle Buchanan. There are more takes. Oscar voters pick Trump. Initially, it was a rough road for the Donald J. Trump biopic, The Apprentice. But Sebastian Stan, the guy that goes to my gym, was able to get his nomination. His new movie, A Different Man, I believe, is on Max as well. Just landed last week. There are some last-minute surprises for the, again, from Buchanan writes, for these movies, including movies like Nickel Boys and the Brazilian film I'm Still Here. The Golden Globes usually, it doesn't happen often, but they usually don't inform what could happen with the Oscars. And it says, this year the Globes were right, more or less. It's interesting that they had a little bit of an imprint because people like Demi Moore she got her first Oscar nomination for actress in a leading role in the movie The Substance. Again, a movie I'll never see. And then we also have our first trans actress to be nominated, Carla Sofia Gascon. Gascon? Oh, Gascon. Wow, the actress in a leading role is more diverse than any other category. Because they have Fernanda Torres, who's from Brazil, for I'm Still Here, Carla, and Cynthia Erivo, who is one win away from getting an EGOT. She could also, if the song that she wrote for Wicked Part 2 is good enough to be nominated for an Oscar next year, if she loses this year, she could also win for the next year. Oh, it's interesting. Ariana Grande is the actress in a supporting role for Wicked, and then the actress in a leading role is Cynthia Erivo. I wonder if they're going to switch that for next year. We'll see. What else happened? Challengers lose big. Amelia Perez makes history. Oh, it also has 13 nominations. My good Lord. Wow. Two cisgender actors have won Oscars playing trans roles, Jared Leto and Dallas Buyers Club. A good movie, a movie I will never see again. There's movies that you don't need to see again. You see them once again, I get it. And then Hilary Swank in Boys Don't Cry. But if Gascon prevails, she'll become the first trans actor to have won off their own merit. Speaking of trans, Jesus. I was when I work out at home, I typically watch. I try not okay. Years ago, I hated watching things while I was working out, period. But when I'm at home, the TV's just sitting there. So yesterday, I tend to just watch action movies, like B level action movies, B and C level action movies, documentaries that I kind of just don't want to pay attention to. With the exception of the SNL 50 doc, I was doing yoga last night and I just wanted to knock out the last 30 minutes of the final episode. But I was in an effort to avoid news yesterday. Because I usually watch the news in the morning. I was perusing Netflix and I was on my queue and I just chose a show. I said, fine, let me just knock this out of the way. And I started watching Baby Reindeer. I knew the story. I read up on what happened, and God, everybody in that show so far. I've only seen like 3 episodes, but everybody in that show is fantastic, and I enjoy it. And it's Richard Gadd's very interesting. Jessica Gunning is great, and Nava Mao is fantastic. They're all so very good, and there were moments when I went, "Oh no!" like just out, like I'm on the bike. Oh God! Oh stop! Why are you doing this? I know I'm a year behind on this, but truly, I just wanted something. Anyway, that's it. Listen, if you like what you heard here, the Oscars are going to be interesting, if not boring. They're going to be very boring is what I'm trying to say. If you like what you heard here, and I don't know why you wouldn't, head to the website cpluscomedy.com where you can see me talk to your favorite celebrities sometimes. Hopefully after these fires have settled, I'll be able to nab some more interviews because a lot of them had to be canceled. If you want to see a video version of the show, head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. We can see a video version of the other shows, LinkedIn Logs, which is a job podcast, and Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. I'm talking about Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, the rest, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook @CPlusComedy, me @ChatBlackWhite. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.